The air in the rusty sprocket was thick with the scent of stale beer, regret, and the faint, enduring hope of a free drink. At a booth in the corner, under the flickering neon sign that proclaimed, "Happy Hour every hour," sat Joe. Joe, bless his simple heart, was a regular. He had a perpetually bewildered expression, big, trusting eyes, and a wallet that felt significantly lighter every time Roxanne smiled at him. Roxanne, on the other hand, was a force of nature. Her hair was a perfectly coiffed storm, her laugh a tinkling bell that somehow always preceded a request, and her eyes. Those eyes could charm the socks off a statue, or more accurately, the last $10 out of Joe's pocket. "Sweetheart," Roxanne purred, leaning across the table, her perfectly manicured nails drumming a gentle rhythm. "You know how much I adore you. But darling, this old phone simply won't do for the gala next week. All my friends are upgrading, and well, a girl needs to keep up, doesn't she?" Joe swallowed hard. The gala was likely a Tuesday night at the bowling alley, and the friends were probably just Roxanne's reflection in a shop window. But he loved her. Or at least he loved the idea of her loving him. He fished in his pocket, pulling out a crumpled $5 bill and a lint-covered button. "But Roxanne," he mumbled, "I just got you those new, sparkly earrings. And the electric bill is due." Roxanne's smile tightened just a fraction. "Oh, Joe, you're so sweet. Always thinking about the boring stuff. A new phone, darling, is an investment in our social connection. Think of it as a down payment on happiness." Across the bar, perched like a grumpy gargoyle on his usual stool, sat Sparky. Sparky saw everything. He'd seen 100 Joes and 1,000 Roxans. He'd seen fortunes won and lost on the roll of a dice, and hearts broken over a perceived slight. He took a long swig of his cheap beer, a bitter amusement playing on his lips. "Look at that," Sparky muttered to the empty stool beside him, a low, rumbling commentary that no one ever really listened to. "Another one bites the dust. These fucking hoes always got a new angle, don't they? New phone, new shoes, new life. Always on someone else's dime." Joe meanwhile was squirming. He knew deep down he was being played. His gut screamed it. His bank account shrieked it. But Roxanne's smile, even the slightly strained one, was a potent weapon. "So," Roxanne continued, her voice a little sharper now, "are you going to help your darling girl, or are you going to be difficult?" Joe finally pushed back, a rare flicker of defiance in his eyes. "Roxanne, don't you ever just want to be with me? Without needing something. Without talking about what I can buy you?" Roxanne's eyes went cold. The smile vanished. "Oh, Joe, don't be such a provincial fool. You think I'd waste my time with a man who can't even provide the basic necessities? What kind of man are you, anyway? You're just a stupid Joe." The words hit Joe like a physical blow. He flinched, his face falling. The bitter truth of it, spat out so cruelly, seemed to steal all the air from the room. Sparky, watching the exchange, felt a familiar wave of cynicism wash over him. He knew this dance. He knew the end of this song. Joe opened his mouth, perhaps to argue, perhaps to beg, perhaps to apologize for being exactly what she called him. But before he could utter a single syllable, Sparky, with a sudden guttural roar that echoed through the otherwise quiet bar, slammed his empty mug down on the counter. "All right, that's enough of this goddamn drama," Sparky bellowed, his voice hoarse from years of yelling at sports on TV and imaginary arguments. Every head in the rusty sprocket swiveled towards him. Roxanne and Joe, mid-standoff, froze, their argument momentarily forgotten. Sparky stood up, teetering slightly, and pointed a shaky finger first at Roxanne, then at Joe, then at the bewildered bartender. His eyes, usually just rheumy and tired, now gleamed with a wild, defiant light. "You want to know what this whole damn thing boils down to?" Sparky slurred, his voice building to a crescendo. "All this back and forth, all this push and pull, All this buy me this and you're so cheap. You want to know the real answer to all of life's complications, to all these games people play, to all the fucking hoes and the stupid Joes. A hushed silence descended over the bar. Even the clinking of bottles behind the counter seemed to stop. Joe looked hopeful, Roxanne looked annoyed, and the bartender just looked resigned. Sparky took a deep breath, puffed out his chest, and then, with a mighty, triumphant shout, he roared, "D's nuts!" The silence that followed was so profound you could almost hear the dust motes dancing in the dim light. Roxanne stared, her perfectly made-up face a mask of utter confusion and disgust. Joe looked from Sparky to Roxanne, a slow, dawning comprehension mixed with absolute bewilderment spreading across his features. The bartender buried his face in his hands. Sparky, feeling immensely satisfied, plopped back down onto his stool, grabbed a fresh beer someone had inexplicably just placed in front of him, and took a long, victorious swig, as if he had just solved the greatest philosophical riddle of the universe. And in the rusty sprocket, the endless dance of desire, deception, and simple foolishness continued, now with the added immortal punchline of D's nuts, hanging forever in the smoky air.
Thank you all for sticking around till the end. Feel free to like and subscribe, leave a comment on what other stories you want me to write about. Davey the Goat out.